Howdy, howdy. Welcome on in to the pre-show before the free show.
Welcome into the Cop Hell versus Denton Geyer post-game show. I'm Greg Tepper. That's Greg Powers. Hi. Welcome into the show. It's Greg and Ashley. We were talking earlier about state championship games because we're starting. Believe it or not, we are. It'll be. I mean, technically 4 weeks from today, right?
It's week 12. This is. This is week 13.
No, it's 5.
This is in total week 13.
This is week 13.
Yes, week
so
13.
It's 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks from today. 4 weeks from today, we'll be at AT&T Stadium, 11:55. We'll be watching 1A Division
We will about to be
1.
kicking
Some
off,
of us will be.
We'll be watching 1A Division 1. You'll be doing recruiting stuff. You'll have a lot of recruiting stuff to do.
Sure.
So, but we were talking about state championship games, and we were because you were kind of talking about like the best players you've ever, like best state championship game performances you've ever seen, and like I think we all agree it's Jordan Whittington at Cuero is like it's
I'm more torn on it because I put the Jonathan Gray game.
He had a huge game his junior year.
The case is I think it was a 7 touchdown performance.
Uh-huh.
The case is that Alito would have won without him.
They would have.
And Cuero wouldn't have won without Jordan
that is
Whittington.
100.
But still, like I put my
100%
performances based on
individual performances.
But I mean, it's neck and neck. We talked about
Javian
Dixon,
Navasota.
That
He was
huge,
really good.
Huge game. William Cole, Cedar Hill.
William Cole. You go talk with Joe McGuire, and he'll tell you he's like William Cole's the finest high school football player that's ever lived. Like he's just like he's unbelievable, and he was spectacular for them. Trying to think of. Go ahead.
Austin Lozano from May, big old number
That's
75, who just made the rest of the six-man players look like they were in junior high.
I mean, it gets forgotten because it was 2020 and the championship game got delayed.
The stiff arm from Doug Brooks heard across the world.
Yeah.
I mean, from a spectacular perspective.
Yeah.
But like the game that got delayed, the 6-man game. You remember the Diesel?
Mm-hmm.
The big tight end for Balmorhea, who had like 5 touchdown catches.
I will never forget it because that's when Craig Way did his Diesel thing because that game was played at Shotwell Stadium.
Yeah, it was
out in Abilene.
Yeah, because they had a COVID outbreak before the game, and they said, okay, we're gonna postpone the game.
Yep. So the game was actually played the same week, the week before the 5 and 6A championships in Abilene.
It was what was his name? Gary Alex Abraham.
Yes, the Diesel.
That guy rocked. That guy. He that's not the greatest performance in state championship history, but like we could just do like a dead spin. Let's remember some guys.
Yeah.
Yep. But we found on YouTube the 2018 North Shore Duncanville game, which is the Hail Mary game, and we're all watching it. And
I'm still so mad I wasn't in.
I
AT&T
know.
For that.
I know that. Like people who've listened to me talk for years have heard me. I'm a broken record. I maintain that if Demetrius Davis gets sacked or he throws it 3 yards out of the back of the end zone and Duncanville wins that game, that's still an all-timer. It's still an all-time great game because that was haymaker after haymaker after haymaker from undisputedly the 2 best teams in the nation.
The 2 best teams I've ever seen on a football field together. I've done this for a long time, seen a lot of great players, covered a lot of great players. I made calls to my family from the sidelines of that game at the beginning of the game.
Mm-hmm.
First quarter, FaceTiming people saying, this is unbelievable. I've never seen 2 teams it felt like a college vibe.
It did. It
felt
felt
like a college game. Every player was legit.
It was one of those things that like you could have changed the uniforms and put them into like Conference USA uniforms. Like those 16, 17, 18-year-olds.
And you probably
would
be
like,
been going,
oh yeah,
why
like
do these Conference USA players look so big?
Yeah, you wouldn't expect anything else. So you'd be like, oh yeah, this tracks. You know what I mean? Oh, they've got a couple really good players for a Conference USA team. Like it was that the level of talent was so good, and it was so good everywhere. Like they were both great at the skill position spots. They were both great defensively.
Up front.
They're both outstanding up front.
Yes.
Like
nasty.
It is. It's
in
like
the trenches that game.
It's one of those things that now we have 5 years of hindsight. It's 5 years ago. And we can look back and say that was, I think you're right, as far as two teams on the field at the same time. I think there's an argument to be made we've seen better teams. I don't think 2018 North Shore is the greatest team of all time.
Yeah.
But as far as two teams on the field at the same time, yeah, I think that's a fair assessment.
And both wanted it real bad. You know what I mean? Like it was a war.
Was it perfect?
Was that the first Chris Parson game?
No, Chris Parson was 2019.
Okay.
That was when Quentin Jackson got hurt against Rockwall in the semifinal. When they were already up. It's nobody's fault. I remember I talked with Reginald Samples for the magazine about that, and he goes, "That's the one that hurt the most."
I watched that happen
because
live.
He was like, "That's the one that hurt the most," because I kept second guessing myself, like, did we do something wrong? Should we have pulled him? And it happened, I want to say the second quarter.
Yeah.
So, and now they were up. They were up like 31-7 or something. Like, they were going to win the game. But, like,
I thought it happened in the second half.
Like, he talked about how he had to, like, forgive himself and be like, we're playing the ball game. Like,
Chris Thompson was banged up, too. He'd been struggling with a knee injury the whole year. So, like, they're two best players.
But that 2018 team, unless I'm missing something, like, everyone was healthy. Like the 2018 game, everyone was healthy, everyone was full go. And the other thing, I promise we'll start showing here in a moment and not go down memory lane. What I'll always remember is that North Shore was the team that everyone in Houston was talking about. And Duncanville was the team that everyone in Dallas was talking about. And they met on the biggest stage in the final game of the season. Like I don't know. There's something special.
The crowd was hyped, too.
The crowd was huge. There's something special about it being the last game, too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I understand they want to flip it so that, for Division I, Division II each year. I get it. I understand why. But there's something special about it being the very last play of the season was a Hail Mary winner between two all-time great teams. Like, that rocks. Hit the theme, Expo. Yes, y'all. From the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Mothership here in beautiful Lewisville, Texas, it is Texas Football Today, a program that's just remembering some dudes. My name's Greg Tepper. I'm the managing editor of Dave Campbell's Texas Football magazine, texasfootball.com. I need a haircut. Corresponding website. Thank you for spending part of your day with us. Whether you're watching us live, texasfootball.com, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, all the places, or you're listening to us on the podcast, which you can subscribe to on the podcast platform of your choice. Either way, thank you for doing your part to support your local mediocre internet show. I am sitting over there at the helm today, making us sound good. She is the Duchess of the Dorks, Miss 305.
Hi, friends.
She's Ashley Pickle.
Oh.
I went to the Stars game last night. Okay? And we're driving up. We're stuck in traffic. Greg Powers, our director of recruiting here. I want to make sure I bring you in on this. Hi.
What's up, y'all?
And they have like the big American Airlines Center billboard on the outside, right? And like we were stuck in traffic, so we got to see the screen kind of cycle through all the things that are coming up. And I know you're hurt because of what's coming to the American Airlines Center during state championship games. If you didn't know, it is Enrique Iglesias, Ricky Martin,
and Mr. Bull.
And Pitbull.
Mr. 305.
All in Dallas. But it's the Friday state championships?
Yes.
Whew. That's tough. My wife said that she would go to that show. She would be least interested in your boy, but like that's what probably makes you guys peanut butter and jelly. You can just go together perfectly.
Well, your wife's had better opinions.
Greg Powers, our director of recruiting, is here.
I love Pitbull.
Correct.
Today.
And I love Greg Powers.
Today is Wednesday, November 15th, 2023. It is 8 days until Thanksgiving.
Let's go.
Yes. It's a wonderful day.
It's a week from tomorrow.
I wanted to, for some reason, I was like, man, he's going to say it's a week and I'm going to get super hype. I was actually thinking about you saying, but it is 8 days.
It's 8 days.
Because Thanksgiving's always on Thursday.
Thanksgiving is always Thursday. It's always the third Thursday, which is why, by the way, it's so early this year.
See, it's an educational program, too.
It's an
educational program, too.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving's always on Thursdays, y'all.
Yes, it is. Thank you. Happy birthday to E40 is episode. It's also B.O.B.'s birthday. Wow.
Oh, nice.
Wow. It's also Randy Savage's heavenly birthday.
To the Macho Man.
It's episode 1694. On today's show, folks, we got This Week in Recruiting. Our jaunt through the biggest and best news from across the Lone Star State on the recruiting trail. And then, back half the show, Powers caught up with Forney star sophomore running back.
Yeah. It's crazy. Our state's loaded with great running backs in the younger classes, by the way.
Dude, he looks like he's 23 right now.
Yeah, he does.
He's a beast.
Javen Osborne, Forney running back Javen Osborne. We'll hear from him coming up here at the back half of the program. Do we have first four through the door?
We sure do. It was jersey number 69,
nice.
Daniel Agnew, Aaron Arbuckle, and blindside Basson Homan. Wonder who that is.
Who's to say?
No one could ever know.
What's up, Eagle Eye?
Without further ado, I'm Greg Tepper. That's Greg Powers. This is This Week in Crootin. It's This Week in Recruiting with Greg Powers, our director of recruiting here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Follow him on Twitter at GPowersScouts. He has fine work at texasfootball.com/recruiting. And, of course, this is brought to you by our good chicken friends at Chicken Express. Chicken Express. You got something?
I love Chicken Express. I mean,
I do.
I thought you knew this about me.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to think of
the last few weeks. People have taken by people I mean Greg Tepper and Ashley Pickle have taken over the Chicken Express spot. You know what I mean? You guys have had great Chicken Express stories, whether they've been or getting food in the studio, or you've been going and getting food for your family. But I will promise you, despite the fact that you guys have really built up Chicken Express, there's not a bigger Chicken Express fan than me.
You are.
I am the quintessential.
You are the.
He doesn't even have to say it.
Yeah,
he
you
just
are.
He lives it.
You are the 5-star. You're the 5-star Chicken Express fan. I think Pickle and I.
Our promise.
We're good 4-stars. We're strong 4-stars.
We were in the conversation.
Chicken Express happy to have us.
Mm-hmm.
Not a class maker.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
I've spent a significant amount of my salary there.
It's This Week in Recruiting.
Some savings into the Chicken Express.
It's This Week in Recruiting.
Kids college fund. More chicken tenders.
With Greg Powers. Let's start with our prospect on the rise. Our prospect on the rise. Let's go to Aldi Nimitz to talk about their junior linebacker, Javar Thomas, who picked up offers this week from SMU and UTSA. He's already got offers from Baylor and TCU, so everybody's hopping into the pool here on Javar Thomas. He is a guy who he's very long. For a linebacker, and they're playing him. He's an outside linebacker, I should say, but he's very long and very he looks athletic, and he plays that way too.
He's very physical. He will always be remembered to me as the player who helped motivate me to make the Texas high school football sleepers list, because when we made it, he didn't have any recruiting attention, and since then he's kind of blown up. So he's in a way the inspiration behind that. So if it's a thing that lives on for years and years and years, Javar Thomas will be the guy who motivated me to do it.
Yeah.
And it's because he's really good, and no one was showing him any attention yet. I think 4 offers is just the beginning for him, because he does fit that description of the modern era linebacker where he can fulfill multiple roles on the field. He doesn't you just don't pin him down and say, oh, well, he's just going to do this. He can pin his ears back and get after the quarterback. He has good spatial awareness, makes plays out in the open territory, can track down ball carriers in space, which I really like a lot. And you hit the nail on the head. He's super long. It seems like he can just reach over linemen and drag people down from a distance, which is pretty cool. But Javar Thomas has now got 4 scholarship offers, 3 Power 5 conference offers, because SMU you now put into the P5 category, and UTSA. So great start for his recruitment. And I think, we'll be talking about him next season as a guy who is a 20 offer kid.
Yeah, and I think part of it is, you mentioned he was a sleeper. He's kind of a sleeper no longer. Everyone's kind of waking up to him.
To the graduated
he's
list.
He's graduated out of bed.
Sleeper no more.
But he is I do wonder if part of it is just Aldine ISD and Aldine Nimitz, is a program that I feel like is not exactly it's not one of those prospect factories where you stop by Allen every year and you stop by Katy every year and see what they've got. But they're becoming that, and they had a good year this year. They were very young, made the playoffs, finished second, finished third in their district, and there's a lot to like about this program, and especially having a guy like Javar Thomas back. It's going to make them dangerous in 2024. And now, I think as a result, he's only going to pick up more and more recruiting steam.
Yeah, and if you're just interested to know a couple more Nimitz names, keep an eye on 2026 wide receiver Malachi Augustus, 6'2", 175-pounder, and their quarterback Albert Brown. He's pretty good too, 6 foot, 185 pounds. So Nimitz has got some players on the rise.
Nimitz is on the come up. That's why he's our prospect on the rise. Let's get to our commit of the week. Our commit of the week, we're going to Bel Air Episcopal down there in the Houston area to talk about their senior quarterback Carson Gordon, a DCT of 3-star, the number 17 prospect according to Dave Campbell's Texas Football in the class of 2024, and he committed this week to UCLA. He is a guy who he's playing quarterback, and he's pretty darn good at playing quarterback. You can make an argument he's even better on the track.
Yeah, no doubt about it. He was the Gatorade Player of the Year last year, track Player of the Year.
Yeah.
So he's extremely athletic. I think he had like a 51.6 triple jump, something like that at the Texas Relays. Sub 22 200 meter time. He's the number 17 rated quarterback in the state, and he's one of those players who haunts me. There are like certain players in each class who like hang with you for some reason or another. I think it might be because of his athleticism. I also kind of was we had him at the Next Level Athlete Camp in Houston back last January. I was pretty impressed with his football IQ at that time as well. Now he is a skinny kind of thrower, right? He's going to need to add some size and muscle and stuff once he gets into college, but super dangerous as a runner, very smooth thrower, pretty consistent, led his team to a state championship game. Had some P5 offers before he committed to UNLV. He made a pretty close connection with Brennan Marion, who's done a tremendous job actually recruiting in the Lone Star State before UCLA offered and got him to kind of change his mind, which, I mean, Chip Kelly.
It's a Big Ten offer.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's a Big Ten offer. Chip Kelly's like a quarterback guru. I think it's a good fit for him. He kind of probably reminds UCLA fans of Dorian Thompson-Robinson. Is that right? I think that's the right. I think that's the right name. I'm not as adept on my UCLA names as some of the ones in state, but he's a good fit there, I think, for Chip Kelly, and I think that he has a high upside, and he might be like one of those guys I rewind the clock on and think, oh, you know what, I might have missed out on his ranking. Maybe he should have been higher.
Well, this is also just to put underscore this. He also, it sounds like he's going to run track there at UCLA too, which makes sense too because UCLA's got an excellent track program as well. So makes a lot of sense. Carson Gordon, the Bel Air Episcopal quarterback, the newest UCLA commit. It's This Week in Recruiting with Greg Powers, our director of recruiting here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football. On Texas Football Today, get involved in the conversation, hashtag TF Today. Let's roll on to our underclassman of the week. Our underclassman of the week is Prosper junior offensive lineman Connor Carty. Connor Carty this week picked up a couple of offers from TCU and Oklahoma, and this is a guy who it would not be a surprise to see this entire Prosper offensive line go D1, go FBS, maybe even go Power 5.
So they've got 5 guys who already have offers, right? Ellis Davis committed to Texas Tech. Tyler Mercer committed to Tulane in this cycle. Connor Carty is the cream of the 2025 class. He's the top guy, and he actually, I think, is going to end up with more offers than both Ellis Davis and Tyler Mercer. And they've got a couple other guys, too, on that class in the 2026. I think Sean Stover and Zayden Crimpin, both really impressive. Outside of that, there are 2 more offensive linemen. One stayed down on the JV team, and one's rotating with the other 5 right now. They go 7 deep, I feel like, at Prosper with D1 guys on the offensive front. Now they have 5 that have offers, but out of that group, I think they're going to end up with 7 guys who get offers. So that front is absolutely stacked. What I love about Connor Carty is his ability to open up holes in the run game. He's extremely intelligent, efficient with his blocks, moves well, understands hand placement and technique a little bit like wise beyond his years as far as that goes, and it may help playing in a program that it has guys like Ellis Davis and Mercer to help learn from. But he's going to be a dude, and his offer list is already starting to reflect that. We talked about the offers that he got this week from TCU and Oklahoma, but he's already got like a laundry list of like P5 offers of schools trying to get him to come to their programs. And I think that it's hard to say this because he's a young player, but I think like from what I've seen so far, I feel like he's a guy once he gets to college can settle in quickly, make a quick transition from high school to college, and be the type of offensive lineman who can contribute potentially early. Now, I mean, he's got some growing to do, but
they got him. He's 6'4", 285. They've got him playing right guard. Do you see him sticking at guard at the next level?
They mostly do put him. Here's what they do, at least at the game that I went to. They rotate these guys around a little bit, but he's kind of entrenched in that right guard position. I think he's a guard. I mean, I think he could also play center, but I like him at guard as like a natural athletic guard. Most of the time, you're saying guard for guys because you don't know if they can move that well. That's not what I'm saying here about Carty. I'm saying it because I think that he is the type of guard who can play in an up-tempo, fast-paced offense, and you're not going to lose any athleticism by having him on the interior. I think that's the perfect fit for him. So, I mean, there's some offers out there that I think fit better than the others for his skill set. But good luck, Mr. Carty, as you sort through all those options to try to find that right fit for yourself.
Picked up offers this week from TCU and Oklahoma. I have a feeling those are not his final offers. Let's round it all out with our Recruit of the Week. Our Recruit of the Week, we're going to North Shore. Heard of them? Talk about their junior cornerback, Javen Sanchez, who is now officially a DCTF 5-star.
Wow.
Javen Sanchez hauls in his 5th star. He is down to, he's going to commit on January 6th at the All-American Bowl in San Antonio, down to A&M, Alabama, and Ohio State. He could go play for the Dallas Cowboys next week if he wanted to. I mean, this guy, he's like, North Shore has had their fair share of outstanding defensive backs.
Yes, they have.
And you know this better than I do. There's an argument to be made. He's the best they've ever had.
I think he's the highest rated North Shore player. I think.
Wow.
That's crazy.
And that's a long list.
Caleb Chason, Zach Evans, some of the guys they've put through there. I mean, just in recent years.
Those are the top 3 highest rated. I think you nailed it.
Yeah.
Zach Evans. I think Zach Evans was 4th or 5th. Caleb Chason was 4th or 5th, and Javen Sanchez is currently 2nd in the state. And really just waiting on the right time to give him his 5th star. I thought it was appropriate, especially now that he has announced his decision date, to go ahead and put that 5th star next to his name, because he brings a little bit of everything to the table. He's long, rangy, has tremendous lockdown skills. Sometimes I get nervous about corners who are 6'2", in that range. Can they, sink their hips well enough to be able to hang with, Marvin Harrison down the field in college? And I guess maybe that's a bad, no one can really hang with Marvin. Somebody has to try.
Somebody's got to try.
If I like my matchup there.
If you're the number one cornerback in the state, theoretically, that's what you should you should be able to do that. And honestly, I mean, the way he plays, it's funny to say he plays smaller, but he does. He plays with the quickness of a smaller guy, but he just happens to be 6'2", 170.
I think he has 4 or 5 interceptions this year, and I don't know why teams are trying to throw on him at all.
Seems like a bad
idea. You know what I mean? It seems like a bad idea. He had a game-changing pick 6 in the Atascocita game, which was a big deal in that game. So he's the type of player who makes plays against big teams too, which I think is pretty important if you're a top-rated recruit. But sky's the limit for Javen Sanchez. He's got a tough decision to make there. He's got some top schools on his list. Of course, A&M a little bit in flux right now. I mean, since he's made his top 3 list, A&M's fired their coach, and that might be in disarray. So is it really coming down to Alabama and Ohio State? I think it would really be hard to decide that you're going to go to A&M right at this moment. Now, that could change.
Yeah.
I mean, they could make a coaching hire in the next couple of weeks and throw the doors off on Javen Sanchez's recruitment.
Historically, let's transition to talking a little bit about A&M.
Perfect.
Jimbo Fisher fired there at Texas A&M. Where obviously we don't know the ins and outs of this program in particular. I know you haven't talked with every one of their commits and asked them, hey, what's your status? What do you think?
Some.
Broadly, whenever a coach is fired, and especially in a high-profile spot, and especially with guys who we know have offers from all over the place, right? What can we expect broadly, generally, in the next couple of weeks heading into this early signing period?
First and foremost, there are going to be guys who are on that commitment list who committed to Texas A&M because they love Texas A&M. The coach played a role but wasn't like the main factor in why they committed to Texas A&M. Mm-hmm. Generally, those are the in-state or close to home recruits. I think you can dip into Louisiana and find some a lot of Texas A&M fans there. Some out-of-state guys who are big-time guys could have potentially grown up on the A&M brand, but it's like a longer shot, right? Mm-hmm. I think some of those guys who committed specifically for the allure of the program, especially as it relates to like NIL money, that kind of stuff, or that they had a good package, will have some reassessing to do, especially if another school comes in and offers them something that they feel like is comparable and has the coaches who they have a better relationship with, because you don't know who's going to be at A&M. So looking at the list, I kind of predominantly think of it as the in-state kids when I think of recruiting, because we do cover Texas high school kids who are going to Texas colleges, mostly here. I think that big fish that you want to retain on that list right now is Terry Bussey, right? Like Terry Bussey's the 5-star. He's a tremendous athlete. You could play on both sides of the ball. He had just recently committed to Texas A&M. He's been very quiet about his thoughts in regards to the coaching situation, which I respect, because Timpson is in the middle of a state championship hunt right now, and it's odd timing for some of these high school kids to have to go through this. So what will Terry Bussey do? Will he switch before National Signing Day? Will it happen quickly, or will he ride it out? And that may all depend upon the coaching situation, who it is. I personally feel like if Texas A&M were to hire, let's just throw out a name because I like to do that. Let's throw out Jeff Traylor, for instance. I think Jeff Traylor is going to have tremendous success, not only keeping the in-state kids on the commitment list, but possibly getting some other in-state names interested down the stretch. Like, would Draylon Miller be re-interested in Texas A&M, powered behind the right coaching decision? But you can't make that hire
based on 2024 class.
Well, you can't make that hire. I think you can make the hire based on that you think that they can have recruiting success, but I don't think that you can make the hire based around recruiting. I'm a guy that wants to win games. I don't care how we win the games necessarily. I like honesty and integrity. Don't get me wrong.
Yes.
Like, I want my team to do it clean, but I want to win.
You would rather, like, this is going to sound rude, and I don't mean it this way. Texas A&M had the number 1 recruiting class of all time a couple of years ago. Jimbo Fisher hauled in the number 1 recruiting class of all time. What did it get him? It got him a pink slip.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, like, you're right. In the end,
I think the way to say it is that recruiting is very important, and you take that into consideration, but player development should player development should be above that.
Well, and exactly right. And also, A&M recruited well before Jimbo Fisher.
A&M's always going to recruit well.
Always. They recruited well before Jimbo Fisher. They will recruit well after Jimbo Fisher.
The thing that I think that most A&M fans would hang their hat on, though, when they think about recruiting nowadays in relation to Jimbo Fisher, is that they're a little bit spoiled because he did land that number 1 class, right? They've come to expect that they can go out nationally and recruit these players. And I think when you toss out some of the names that have been mentioned in this coaching search, and we could be like honing in on the right names, or there could be like a name that comes from off the radar to get this job. But I think the concern from the fans is can this name, whoever replaces Jimbo Fisher, continue to recruit at the same high level nationally that Fisher and his staff did? And they may not. There may not be. They may not hire a coach that can sign the number 1 class. In the history of recruiting, the odds of that happening are a long shot, right? But what if they can put great players on the field and win games? That's what I would be more concerned about, and a product that the fans can rally behind and be passionate about. But just sorry, long segue there.
No.
I'm looking through this list. Terry Bussey, I think, is an important name. Dalen Evans has flirted with some other schools throughout his recruitment.
Pine Tree, right?
Yeah, Pine Tree defensive lineman Dalen Evans has flirted with some other schools. He's the number 1 rated defensive tackle in our rankings. Very big commitment. He's a continuance of the dominance that they've showed in recruiting defensive linemen across the country. I think that's a very important name. On social media, he's been very pro Texas A&M.
And I do wonder if A&M promoting Elijah Robinson to interim and I'll editorialize here. I think whoever gets hired would be very well suited to make sure that he stays on their staff. Elijah Robinson, and make sure he doesn't run off, right? Because he's going to get his phone's going to ring. And so I think you're right. With Dalen Evans, I think Elijah Robinson may hold the keys for that.
Yeah, and you just look down that list. Like Ashton Funk, he's already solidified his recruitment, said that he's not looking at other schools. He committed to Texas A&M because he's been a Texas A&M fan. I think, to me, Blake Ivy is one that I would put into the category just based on what I know about Blake Ivy. When he committed to Texas A&M, it was 50-50. He could have went to LSU. He could have went to Texas A&M. Now LSU is like filled up, I guess. You know what I mean? Is there still that's another thing. Is there space on the bus for some of these other programs that you were high on at that time? That's something to consider because it is November 15th. And next week, signing day packets are coming out. These colleges are sending you your letter of intent and all this stuff to like get – they're ready to put this to bed come December, and they want to know like who's on board. Miles Davis has solidified his commitment. So there's been some positive stuff come out about the A&M recruits, but some of the big fish you're just not going to know about until they decide. And in the case of a Terry Bussey, he's in the middle of a state championship run, and I respect him for not necessarily commenting on that situation at this time.
So Bussey and Evans would be the two names you're
Those
really
are the two at the top of my list. I'm keeping a close eye on Anthony Smith because there's been some talk that he could take an official visit to Texas. He's very much friends with Draylon Miller, who decommitted, Weston Davis, who decommitted and flipped to LSU. Anthony Smith has stayed solid, but does he take another official visit? I think A&M signs Anthony. I'm going to go out on a limb. I think A&M is going to sign Anthony Smith. Texas could make a run at him. If I'm Anthony Smith, and sorry, Texas, but they got a lot of linebackers.
Yes, they do.
They got a lot of linebacker depth built up there, and I'm not saying Anthony Smith can't compete with them because you know how I feel about him.
Oh yeah,
he's one of the top guys, but Texas A&M offers a better opportunity closer to home. That's just how I see it.
Somebody who always offers a better opportunity closer to home is Greg Powers, our director of recruiting here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Follow him on Twitter at GPowersScouts. He's fine work at TexasFootball.com/recruiting. Stick around, though, because I want to hear what you have to say about Javen Osborne.
Sounds good.
We're Texas Football Today. We're here every weekday at noon on TexasFootball.com, talking football on the Lone Star State. You can follow us on Twitter at DCTF, like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's, and, of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. Coming up here in just a moment, Forney running back Javen Osborne updates his recruiting. But first, a word from these valued partners.
I feel like bustin' loose, bustin' loose. Come on, get on up. Oh yeah, get on up. Bustin' loose when you wanna sing. Bustin' loose, baby, do your thing. Talking about bustin' loose, yeah.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Potter, Executive Director of Be Well Texas. Too many people are struggling alone these days, and alcohol and drug deaths are increasing. We started Be Well Texas to offer high-quality, science-based addiction treatment and recovery services anywhere, even at home. We provide compassionate, caring support virtually or in person. In many cases, there is no cost for treatment if you don't have insurance. Really. Welcome to Be Well Texas. We're glad you're here.
Wing is the largest residential drone delivery provider in the world, delivering to your home in less than 30 minutes. Order using an app just like other popular delivery services, and Wing's automated drone takes care of the rest. It's fast, safe, and sustainable, and it's now delivering to parts of Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas. You can learn more at wing.com/TexasFootball. Again, that's wing.com/TexasFootball.
Born and bred in Texas hits a little different, as it should. Texans love doing business with fellow Texans. VCR now takes its Texas roots as seriously as its many partnerships with schools and universities around the state. It's also why we're so proud to promote our brand in the pages of the Texas Bible, Dave Campbell's Texas Football, and on the airwaves of Texas Football Today. Driven by producing quality broadcast video, state-of-the-art audio, and LED video scoreboards at affordable prices, VCR now makes sure to listen to your needs in its athletic department before recommending the next best steps. Building great products is our business, and it's our focus on building meaningful, long-term partnerships with our clients that sets us apart. From our 24/7, 365-day help desk, the training lab in our hometown of Red Oak, or our sports marketing business plan that puts money back in the hands of our athletic departments we support, VCR Now is built to last. Reach out to us today at info@vcrnow.com or by calling 855-GO-VCR-NOW. Again, that's info@vcrnow.com or by calling 855-GO-VCR-NOW.
Powers, you caught up with one of the bright young running backs in the state of Texas.
Javen Osborne, Forney's class of 2026 phenom, 201 yards and 4 touchdowns in a dominating second half against PA Memorial team that's got some pretty talented dudes on the defensive side of the ball. Osborne took over that game, and I was happy to be able to catch up with him afterwards.
Here he is.
Greg Powers, Dave Campbell's Texas Football, and I'm out here in Forney, Texas with Javian Osborne. Big man here on the scene, 44-7 win over PA Memorial. How many touchdowns did he have? 4 touchdowns. 4 touchdowns in this game tonight. You really got it cooking in the second half. What were you seeing out there that helped you pop some of those runs?
Man, really, I seen the linebackers was just scraping down. You know, they was trying to beat my linemen to the point of attack, and then I just seen kind of all through the game, they was just trying to hit it downhill, and then I just seen it and took off from there.
Just kind of talk about your skill set out there on the field. You got a little bit of a chance last year, really a lot of a chance to show your abilities as a freshman. Now you're coming out here as a sophomore and asserting your dominance.
Yes, sir. Man, really, I just want to thank my linemen, man. You know, they put in the work every day. And really, man, my receivers, O-linemen, coaches, you know, they putting me in the right path, you know, to be successful. And all glory to God, too.
You mentioned your coaches. I got to ask you about Coach Fleener out here. He's really got the program going in the right direction. A lot of positive buzz in Forney. What's it like playing for Coach Fleen?
Man, I love Coach Fleener. That's my dog, man. You know, he helps me in the classroom or even on the field, man. Whatever it is, you know, he's up for the task, man. I love Coach Fleener every day.
Success on the field leads to success off the field, and you got a lot of it, a lot of offers coming your way. Just in general, man, how many offers do you think you're up to? I mean, sometimes it's probably hard to count them all, but you got a lot of offers. How many offers you got, and what's it like just to have that opportunity?
How many offers I have right now is 10 total, and, you know, it's really a blessing just being able to, you know, the coaching staff looking at me as this early as a sophomore, and, you know, it's a blessing really to be on, you know, to be on people radar and stuff. You know, it's really, I just thank the Lord.
I ain't going to put them on like asking which ones stand out or anything. I can't even, like 10, it's hard to remember even double-digit offers. I'm going to ask about a couple specifically that I know or at least I thought might be big. This week you got a big one from the SEC and Texas A&M. What did it mean to you to get an offer from the Aggies?
You know, it was really big for me. You know, I just love their traditional and football and stuff, man. And you know, my coach over there, Coach Bailey, man, you know, he went to Texas A&M. It was pretty cool. It was pretty fun and stuff.
So it was a good moment for the team and you and your coaches whenever you got that offer.
Yes, sir, it was.
Texas, you went down there for a visit and saw what the atmosphere was like on game day this year. Just kind of talk about what keeps the Longhorns in it and why they could have a shot at potentially signing you one day. Again, over 2 years away before he has to make his decision.
Yes, sir, man. Texas Longhorns, I love everything about them. You know, Coach Sark, Coach Choice, man, that's another thing. And then the run first type of team, you know, being able just to get the opportunity and stuff, I love it, everything about them.
Across the Red River, you got the rival, OU. They've offered you as well. Could you see yourself maybe in the Crimson and Cream one day?
Oh, yes, sir, most definitely. Coach Murray, man, that's another guy right there I could play for. He's pretty cool, pretty good, man.
I don't want to date myself, but I covered Coach Murray whenever he was coming out of Bishop Gorman High School and played in the All-American Bowl back in the day. So I have a little bit of history there. And another school, I mean, a guy that we've compared you to a little bit is Reggie Bush out at USC. And that's a school that's in the mix with Lincoln Riley as the head coach there. Definitely a school that's always in the national spotlight.
Yes, sir, most definitely, man. Reggie, being compared to Reggie Bush, you know, it's pretty big just watching his highlights back at USC, man. You know, Coach McDonald over there, he's still trying to get me up there, man. But it was just a pretty good environment when I visited up there back in September, man. It was, you know, I love Coach Riley. You know, I love it.
Talk about, like, is there an offer out there you're hungry for?
To be honest, Not really. I'm just enjoying life right now. Yes, sir.
He's enjoying life because his team just won 44-7 out here at Forney over PA Memorial in a big first-round playoff victory. That's Javian Osborne. How many was it? 4 touchdowns tonight.
Yes,
congratulations on the big win, man, and good luck with the rest of the season and your recruitment.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
There's Javen Osborne, running back for Forney.
That was 4 touchdowns.
4 touchdowns.
I like those Rabbits jerseys. They're really nice. That's a clean look.
They're hard to photograph, though. I will tell you that.
Huge game this week against Lone Star.
I think that's like
I think that's one of the games of the week.
Yeah,
I think that's like
knocks.
potential to be. I'm sorry again. Sorry, making all kind. I'm a 5A, 6A guy most of the time.
You're a snob.
Kind of goes along with the business.
In those 2 brackets,
Yeah.
I think that's the game to watch. Like, it has the potential to be fun. It's in Allen.
Mm-hmm. Got a chance to steal the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Two like completely kind of different
Mm-hmm.
styles clashing together. I mean, it's going to be fun. 2 young coaches that are on the come up. I don't think it's fair to say Rayburn's on the come up anymore, though.
He's only been like he's
been
coached
on the
in a
come
state
up.
championship game, like
Yeah.
you know, like and he's been there for like a decade. Anyway, you're right though. Two exciting coaches. Like it'll be that Forney and Lone Star is gonna be a banger.
Shout out to Coach Fleener, though. He has done a tremendous job with that Forney program. That was the second Forney game that I went to this year. I went to the Longview Forney game as well.
Did you get on the mechanical bull?
I did not. I did take a photo of the mechanical, or a small video for the vlog of the mechanical bull. They didn't have it back out this week. But the atmosphere there is amazing. They got Jim Jennings, you know, the man who does the state championship games on the PA, and he also does the Red River Showdown game too. So they got like an iconic voice on the PA system there.
Yeah.
It's just like a lot of fun out in Forney.
For a touchdown.
Yeah. So it was.
I've never met him. I've never met Jim Jennings.
You probably have and
Nice
didn't
guy.
know it.
Maybe. I'm sure. Well, no. I think I'd recognize his voice. God knows I've heard his voice.
He doesn't sound the same when you talk to him.
No,
though,
he
as he
doesn't.
does
Really?
No.
No, not at all.
Okay. My goal. This is a state thing. When we get to state, I want to meet Jim Jennings.
I can make that happen.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I want to meet him.
Jim and I do the Cotton Bowl together
Yeah.
every year.
Yeah.
So
I hear his name echoing through my brain for about 3 weeks after state championship
Yep.
games.
And his wife Connie's the spotter for him,
Oh
so
my
I always get to
gosh.
see Connie as well. So shout
So
out to the Jennings.
So talk about the real MVP.
shout out
Yeah.
to the
He's
Jennings.
just talking. She's doing the hard work.
Yeah.
Anyway, Javian Osborne, star running back for Forney. Coming up here in just a moment, an electrifying edition of Final Thoughts. But first, let's find out who won the Earl Campbell Tyler Rose Award. Dave Campbell's Texas Football is proud to partner with Sport Tyler to award the Earl Campbell Tyler Rose National Player of the Week, which recognizes the top offensive player in Division I college football, who also exhibits the enduring characteristics that define Earl Campbell: integrity, performance, teamwork, sportsmanship, drive, community, and tenacity. In addition, each honoree must be born in Texas, graduate from a Texas high school, or play at a Texas-based junior college or Division I Texas college. It all leads up to the Earl Campbell Tyler Rose Award, announced in January. Congratulations to this week's winner of the Earl Campbell Tyler Rose National Player of the Week. For more information, visit earlcampbellaward.com. We go live to Ashley Pickle for America's second favorite segment, Final Thoughts.
I saw this graphic earlier, and someone broke down how much Jimbo's going to get paid per day for the next 8 years to not coach a football team. $26,301 per day over the next 8 years. Can you imagine making $26,000 in a day for being bad at your job?
Can I get the single?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Grub.
To whom it may concern, I will not coach a football team for half that. How about that? I'm going to undercut him. Fired football coach remains the best job in America.
I just wish that...
And golfer.
Yes. I wish that I could just, like,
You
be
golf people.
terrible at my job, and someone would be like, here is all this money to go away.
Time out. He wasn't terrible at his job. He just wasn't up to their standards.
That's okay. Fine. I wish I could not meet company standards.
I was gonna say,
and someone
I think words
could
matter. I think words matter. And I was never I was never the biggest Jimbo Fisher fan, and all that fun stuff as far as like Dave Campbell's relationship with him. He was nice enough at the he's the guy Republic football has never had on. So
he wouldn't call them back.
I never got a buyout in my contract here.
Do you think?
Tep.
We should go into Adam's office together, like after the show, and like negotiate.
Talk about a buyout.
Negotiate putting a buyout into our contract.
What? Do I not get to go?
Yeah, it'd be fun if all of us went.
Do you want to come?
Yeah, again, I would love to just not meet company standards and get paid $26,000 a day for the next 8 years.
I'll rock.
Oh, I'd take significantly less.
I was gonna say I'd do it for half.
Yeah.
I'll not work for half that. You want to plug ROF?
I guess that is coming up at 2, and I guess they are going to have to figure out something to say other than Jimbo Fisher call us back unless they want a non-FBS head
Maybe
coach
he will
to do
call him
it.
back now. Like maybe
So,
like he's not beholden to our friend Alan Cannon or Brad Marquardt down there at A&M anymore. He can do what he wants.
So I guess tune into ROF at 2 with Carter Yates, Ishmael Johnson, and Mallory Hartley to figure out how they're going to end their show.
No, that's a tease. That's a tease.
I figured out what my buyout could be.
What's that?
I'd do it for $250 a day. I'd take $250 a day for my buyout and just like never have.
How much is that a year?
I mean, it's closing in on 100 probably.
Oh,
or it's
yeah.
in between the,
I do that.
Yeah,
Yeah, do that quick math.
To not have to work.
$250 a day?
91,250.
Oh,
Yeah.
I will not work for that 100%.
Yeah, so I mean, like you would take what is that 10% of what Jimbo's getting and be happy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. 100%. That's going to do it for us. Thanks for spending a little bit of your day with us. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And, of course, see us at texasfootball.com. Thanks again to Forney running back Javen Osborne for being our guest. For Ashley Pickle and Greg Powers, I'm Greg Tepper. Vince Young, please come get your Player of the Year trophy. We'll see you tomorrow on Texas Football Today.